Imagine being known as the Angel of Death. That was Joseph Mengele, a notorious Nazi doctor who conducted inhumane experiments on prisoners in Auschwitz. His name still echoes through the annals of history, a chilling reminder of the atrocities committed in the name of science and racial purity. With a chilling sense of detachment, Mengele oversaw the selection of prisoners for the gas chambers and carried out horrific experiments on those he spared, including cruelly probing the mysteries of genetics and heredity on twins and other victims. His actions left a chilling legacy of suffering and death. But what happened to Mengele after the war? Why wasn't he brought to justice like many of his fellow Nazis? In the chaos of post-war Germany, Mengele managed to slip through the cracks. As the Allied forces swept through Europe, they detained thousands. Among them was Joseph Mengele, the infamous Angel of Death. Yet, in a twist of fate, Mengele was not recognized. He was just another face in a sea of defeated soldiers. It's hard to imagine that the man responsible for some of the most inhumane experiments in history could simply fade into the background. But he did. Mengele was held in an American detainment camp under his own name, a name yet to be associated with the horrors of Auschwitz. And then, just as swiftly as he was captured, Mengele was released. A lack of recognition, or perhaps a failure in communication, the details remain unclear. But one thing is certain: Mengele was free. Yet freedom in a world that was hunting down Nazis was a dangerous game. Mengele was a marked man. He needed a place to hide, a sanctuary that could offer protection from the prying eyes of the world. Mengele was free, but he wasn't safe. So where could a notorious Nazi hide? The Vatican, the heart of the Catholic Church, might not be the first place you'd think of when it comes to aiding Nazi fugitives. Yet, behind the sacred walls, a story unfolds that could easily be a plot for a thriller. Recently unsealed documents reveal a clandestine operation that aided Nazis, including the infamous Joseph Mengele, in their escape from justice. This operation involved the use of Vatican-issued Red Cross passports, a tool that would prove invaluable in the post-war chaos. The Church's top leadership, while not publicly condemning the Holocaust atrocities, played a significant role in this underground network. Their actions were a mixed bag of silence, aid, and even empathy towards the very individuals responsible for some of the darkest chapters in human history. It's a stark contrast to the image of the Vatican as a beacon of morality and a sanctuary for the oppressed. In the aftermath of the war, the Vatican became a crucial link in the chain of escape routes known as the Rat Lines. These paths led from war-torn Europe to havens across the globe, allowing war criminals like Mengele to evade capture. The Church's involvement raises profound questions about complicity and the moral duty of institutions. But even with the Church's help, Europe was no longer safe for Mengele. So where could he go? Thousands of miles away from the ruins of the Third Reich, South America became a haven for Nazi fugitives. One of these fugitives was Joseph Mengele, the notorious Angel of Death. In the aftermath of the Second World War, Mengele escaped to Argentina. Using a Red Cross passport, he slipped under the radar, living an unassuming life in Buenos Aires. As the years passed, Mengele continued to elude authorities. When his identity was finally discovered, he fled Argentina in panic, seeking refuge in Paraguay, a country notorious for offering asylum to Nazis. His life was one of constant fear and paranoia, always looking over his shoulder, always ready to run. Mengele's final years were spent in Brazil, where he lived under the pseudonym of Wolfgang Gerhard, a fellow Austrian he had befriended. Even in hiding, Mengele continued his pathological obsession with genetics, reportedly offering medical advice to locals and allegedly continuing his experiments on twins. Mengele would never face trial for his crimes. He died in 1979, having evaded capture for over 30 years. His legacy, however, is a chilling testament to the horrors of unchecked power and the devastating consequences of human cruelty. Mengele's story leaves us with many unanswered questions. How did this man, known for his horrific experiments and heinous crimes, evade justice for so long? How was he able to slip through the fingers of the Allies, only to find refuge in South America? What role did the Vatican, an institution of faith and morality, play in aiding Mengele and other Nazis in their escape? And why did they do it? Was it out of fear, or were there darker, more sinister motives at play? Moreover, why did the United States, a nation that led the charge against Nazi Germany, have Mengele in their custody and let him go? Was it a simple mistake or a deliberate act? And finally, what does this say about the world we live in? How are we to reconcile the fact that institutions and nations we trust may have aided and abetted some of the most monstrous individuals in history. As we delve deeper into the past, we must confront these uncomfortable truths, seeking justice for the victims and ensuring such atrocities are never repeated.